Hello and welcome to Nourish Women Now. My name is Stephanie Dawn, and I'm so very, very happy to have you join us this evening. I'll be introducing my co-host Kahina Karyn in just a moment, but I want to welcome you for being here with us tonight. We are calling forth a little sacred circle of women to dive deeply into what it is that we know can support women to nourish themselves now. So if you are a midwife or a doula, you're in the right place. If you are a woman or a man or someone who serves other women, you are in the right place. If you are a leader in women's health, welcome. If you are a caregiver who needs to be cared for, we are so glad that you are here. And if you are a prenatal or breastfeeding, a postpartum mom needing nutritional support, we are so, so happy that you are here. So why Nourish Women Now, exclamation point? Because we feel an urgency around what's going on here in the United States with women, prenatally, but more so in the postpartum term. And what I know from my years of talking with women, working with women, serving women in many capacities is that women are suffering. And they're not suffering in any way that we would go, oh, she's suffering. They don't wear a sign around their neck. There aren't many articles written about how they're suffering. But I know, because I was one of them, and I'll share a little bit more about my story in a moment, I was suffering in terms of my postpartum experience of life and how to care for myself. So we don't see many articles about postpartum depletion or depression, but we do see, in popular magazines and such, but we do see all kinds of articles and media when a woman is diagnosed with postpartum psychosis and very sadly ends the life of her children. So we're going to be talking about this really difficult subject tonight and many, many other topics. We are going to talk about postpartum depletion and depression, and we're going to be contrasting what is the difference between that and baby blues. And then really so that you, if you're a mom or you're someone who cares for moms or works with moms, you understand the difference, you're educated, and you can help a mom who's in need. We're going to be talking about how it is that issues of body image postpartum can really run us. And Kahina is going to be sharing specifically about that, but I have a few things I'd like to add to that as well. And what is the answer for all of this? Well, it may shock you. It sure as heck did me. But the answer for all of these things, I now know, is nutrition. Daily, nutrient-dense, potent nutrition. This is what I've learned for the past 7 years. So, severe nutritional depletion causes all manner of issues in a woman's body, and nourishing her optimally is paramount to us. That's why we're here tonight, okay? So when we look at the Merriam-Webster dictionary for nourish, it means to cause to grow or live in a healthy state, especially by providing with enough good food or nutrients. So when we look at that definition, we really need to look at, number one, what is a healthy state? I think each woman needs to define that for herself. And what does providing with enough good food or nutrients mean? Well, here's what I know. A postpartum mom has just spent 9 months growing a baby, and that baby has taken so much from that mother. And, we hear a lot after a woman is born, like, oh, make sure you're hydrating, so your milk doesn't dry up. But we don't hear a lot about make sure you're eating really, 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 really well. Make sure you're nourishing your body really, really well. And so it's that nourishing your body really well that we're going to be sharing a little bit later on how we do it and how we support the women in our various practices to do it. So we also need to sort of touch on, I don't want to go too deeply into this, but we need to look at the current state of the food industry in the United States because it's not serving us. Conventional food does not serve women, prenatal women, postpartum women, and families to my mind, in any great way at all. It's the exact opposite. It's poison. And so we here, Kahina and I, and whoever invited you to be here, we strongly believe in organic, whole food, superfood as a mom's best food, as really anyone's best food. And so who am I and why am I here with you tonight? My name is Stephanie Dawn, and I'm a mom to 2 teenage boys. I am the creator of a work that I called Sacred Birth Work back in about 2004, I think it was. 2003, 2004, right before my son Jasper was born. And several years after that birth, I also created the Sacred Birth Mentor Program. And I worked with expectant parents and birth professionals all over the world, teaching them sacred birth work. So helping moms and families to thrive is something that I've been invested in for 2 decades. I am a longtime birth rights activist, health freedom activist, and I'm the former chair of the Million Mom Movement Council, which is the activist arm of our superfoods company. And I served in that position for 4 years. And I'm very, very proud of my service there and all that is continuing after my tenure. So about 7 years ago, I was suffering. I was 10 years postpartum. I was 50 pounds above what you see me now. I was really struggling. I was perimenopausal. I had candida. I was suffering from frozen shoulder. I was like literally a hot mess, and I did not know what to do. I didn't have a general practitioner. She'd left Los Angeles, and I didn't work with a naturopath at that point. I didn't know the importance of naturopathy, truly, in all honesty. And health coaching was not a thing back then. But what I did have was a client, a doctor that I deeply respected. And for those of you who are in the birth world, this was the daughter of Janine Parvati Baker, celebrated midwife and author. So Loie is her name. She's still alive. Janine is since passed. Those of you might know who knew of her. And I was so grateful that she reached out to me and let me know about this nutritional protocol, because it literally has changed my life. I was able to completely turn around my health, lose the 50 pounds. And another piece I don't want to get too deeply into, but 4 years ago, I received a breast cancer diagnosis. And the nutrition that we're going to be talking with you about tonight has really been the foundation for my health and my well-being. So I'm here with you this evening because I care so deeply about, how it is that I've been able to turn around my health and how it is that I've been able to support women all these years, and men and families. So the inspiration for this event is a woman that I met a couple years ago. And I didn't really understand what postpartum psychosis was. You just didn't hear about it. And if you did, it was like very rare that a woman ever did harm her children or herself. And it seemed like sort of a freak thing, right? So I learned about this woman, Hannah. She lives on the island of Maui. She's from Australia. And I wanted to share her story with you because we learn so much from stories. We learn so much about how we can support ourselves and how we can support the women in our circles. And I want you to hear her story because when I heard her story, first of all, I like burst into tears multiple times. I was so mortified that anyone in the United States could suffer the way that Hannah had. And I recognized in my capacity back then, I was the chair of the Million Mom Movement, that I needed to elevate her story. And so here we are. So this is Hannah's own words, all right? She doesn't come on these kinds of presentations currently because it re-traumatizes her. So she's come a long way, but she's still got a ways to go in terms of her healing. I suffered postpartum psychosis. I had delusions, paranoia, and suspiciousness. I had difficulty communicating and lost complete touch with reality, feeling confused and unaware. I had terrifying thoughts about the safety of myself and my baby. I truly thought if I admitted what was really going on in my head, they would take my baby away, put me in jail or a straitjacket. I was not in my right mind, and I was petrified. I was so scared to put this out there for the fear of negative judgments, but realized I had to let go of carrying that heavy burden of negativity all around. Fear of hiding the stigma around postpartum psychosis, anxiety, and depression. I don't want to hide it or hide behind it because this transformation saved my life and it saved my marriage. My postpartum was bad. I mean, really bad. I couldn't drive. I made excuses why I couldn't attend dinners or social events. I was deeply embarrassed and ashamed. I had no logical thoughts. I couldn't tell the time. I would look at the clock but not understand. So I set alarms to feed my daughter. I had a deep sense of fear and slipping away, partnered with suicidal visions and thoughts. Even my periods were so bad, I could lie on the floor vomiting or have diarrhea. It was awful. My irritability was unfair to my family, yet I had no control. I spent thousands on doctors, acupuncture, naturopathic therapists, herbs, diets, hypnosis. Nothing was working. Unsure of it all, I decided to invest in myself one more time and committed to the 30-day ultimate lifestyle transformation. Almost 4 years postpartum, I can finally say, I am symptom-free, she writes in all caps. And she's talking about physical symptoms here. I just want to clarify that because she still has emotional symptoms. 15 days into the protocol, my husband looked over at me and said, babe, whatever you're doing, never stop. I can now drive, no longer need to nap. And most importantly, I feel like I'm showing up for my family, not wasting another day in the postpartum blur I've been living in. I feel more confident, more focused, more present. My husband and I are better than ever, and I feel like I'm not missing another moment. My PMS has gone away. I have to set an alarm to remind me when I will start my period, as I have no more symptoms. Such an added bonus I didn't see coming, and I lost the stubborn 10 postpartum pounds that just wouldn't shed. This protocol has literally put breath back in my body. I will be forever grateful to have found these products and the simple solutions they have given me. I write this with the hope that others don't have to feel alone and can find the strength to get through their own postpartum journeys. If I can help just one mama, my transformation story will be worth it. We just celebrated my daughter's 4th birthday. For the first time, I truly celebrated. I was there, present, grateful, and happy. Finding true joy in life, again, has been my everything. So that is Hannah's story. And yeah, she was having, psychotic episodes. She was thinking about harming her child and herself. She thought her husband would leave her. I mean, it was bad, really bad, right? And so, I didn't have postpartum depression or depletion. But what I had was extreme isolation. I couldn't believe that I had bought into this idea that I'd have my baby and there would be people around me all the time, helping me, supporting me, caring for me, cooking for me, helping me with the dishes and the laundry. And I was like, what? Where is that reality? Like, what is this paradigm that I'm living in where I'm not being helped and supported the way that I know so many women have in the past, right? So this is the nature of the nuclear family here in the United States. And this is one more reason why we need to be reaching out to women postpartum. So on this path of nutritional, deepening my nutritional understanding, I met and literally fell in love with the woman I'm about to introduce to you. Her name is Kahina Karyn. She's a mom of three, 2 girls and 1 boy in South Carolina. She's a sacred birthkeeper, just like me, and a certified holistic doula on the path of quantum midwife. She's studied at IIN and continues to expand her understanding of regenerative health and holistic herbalism. She is passionate and dedicated to serving and empowering women and families in birth and beyond. And I'm so excited to welcome you here tonight, Kahina, and I'm so glad that you share this passion with me around helping moms postpartum.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here with you. And I feel just so blessed to be in this space and doing this work alongside you and connecting with the others that also pick up what we're putting down and the importance of what we're offering. So thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. So I'll just start off by sharing a little bit about my past with gut dysbiosis, first of all, because it correlates with a lot of the anxiety that I had growing up that I just kind of normalized. I thought that it was just, the way of life to have an upset tummy most of the time, which was, didn't feel good all around. I think that caused a lot of anxiety. And then fast forward to my pregnancies. My first one was pretty wonderful, aside from, just a little bit of discomfort with, anxiety and gut dysbiosis, but not nearly as intense as my third baby. After Junebug was born and during, I started to feel really, really like I had just lost myself and disconnected, especially after she was born. I dealt with a pretty traumatic pregnancy. So yeah, it was rough and not what I thought I signed up for. And by the time that I had her, I was just kind of in and out and ended up having pretty severe OCD and depression, chronic fatigue, chronic pain. It was just one symptom on top of the other. And it was devastating because I really wanted to be so connected with this experience of bringing new life into this world. And I'm so grateful for the birth that I got to experience because it was truly powerful. And I just give thanks for that all the time. All of my births were so beautiful and so much love surrounded them. And I really feel like that empowered me to keep going through the tough shit that I had to navigate. So, yeah. So 2 years after Junebug was born, I reached the point of depletion where I was just hanging on by a thread. And I went outside and I said, that's enough. Like I really decided, I made a decision that I did not want to live like that anymore. And I think it was the day after it was like lickety split. I saw my friend shared what we're sharing here, and I felt like everything, like I had a whole body yes. I just knew that that was what I prayed for. And I didn't even know really that much about it. But the more she shared with me, the more I was like, oh my goodness, yes. And then that led me to Stephanie Dawn, and it just all the dots connected. And just super excited to share what we have. Because when I got this, first of all, when I placed my order, I already felt so nourished. I felt like elevated in spirit. It was it was profound, the shift that I experienced when I just made that commitment to myself. And then when I actually received the nourishment into my body, it was like really quick. Like I had so much more energy. And I had some dips, it was a process. It's still been a process because it took a lot of toxicity and stress and everything to get me where I was. So, but the process has been so supported and so nurtured. And I feel like it was an answer to prayer for me on so many levels. And I just couldn't be more grateful. Every day I wake up and I give thanks for what I found here in this beautiful community and this sisterhood that is unlike anything I've ever experienced, and everything that I've prayed for and more. So thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, Kahina. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between baby blues and postpartum depression, because I think this is really important, that we understand this just as the collective, whether we ever have children or not. And for those of us who are here that don't have children, we care about women, we care about families, and we need to know what is the difference. All right. So first of all, the question here is, what causes postpartum depression? So the answer is hormonal changes may trigger symptoms of postpartum depression. When you are pregnant, levels of the female hormones estrogen and progesterone are the highest they'll ever be. In the first 24 hours after birth, hormone levels quickly drop back to normal, to pre-pregnancy levels. Researchers think this sudden change in hormone levels may lead to depression. Levels of thyroid hormones may also drop after giving birth. Low levels of thyroid hormones can cause symptoms of depression. Other feelings may contribute to postpartum depression, including feeling tired, overwhelmed, and stressed. These feelings are common among new mothers. So what is the difference between baby blues and postpartum depression? Most women get the baby blues. I remember, I was totally weepy all the time. I mean, you're straddling the elation of having this brand new baby, and you're also like completely freaked out. Like I remember, I have to share a dream with you all. I remembered having a dream when Jasper was a tiny little infant, that he was a little gummy bear that was inside my little pocket here, and that he'd fallen out of the pocket into the grass, and I couldn't find him in the grass. So there's this anxiety that we have as new moms, right? It's like, how am I going to care for this tiny little thing, and everyone has done it, for so many years before us and so many generations before us. So we find our way. But initially, especially when you don't have people around you, like if you don't have a community of women who have babies to sort of go, hey, you're doing great, or hey, yeah, that's totally normal. Like I said, it can feel really isolating. So the community, the collective of love and support for a postpartum mom is really important. I think here in the States, a lot of people just go, oh, she had the baby, she's fine, bye-bye. And they just go off into their life, right? They're all about feeding the mom, before she has the baby. And then, oh, she's, baby's here now, we're just going to go about our lives. It's like, no, that's really when moms need us. So, crying spells, so baby blues. So crying spells, lose the appetite, trouble sleeping. Obviously, I mean, you're nursing a baby all night long if you're nursing, or they're awake all night long feeding. The baby blues usually go away 3 to 5 days after they start. That's key. All right. The symptoms of postpartum depression last longer and are more severe. Postpartum depression usually begins within the first month after childbirth, but it can begin during pregnancy or for up to a year after birth. So how do I know if I have postpartum depression? Any woman can become depressed during pregnancy or after having a baby. It doesn't mean you are a bad mom, but if you have any of the following symptoms for more than 2 weeks, call your doctor, your nurse, your midwife, or one of us, because we know what can help you. Yeah. So here is a great list that we can get a copy of to you. It's called The 17 Critical Signs of Postpartum Depression. And if you'd like this list, just go ahead and message the person that invited you to be here, and we can make sure you get a copy of this. Here's number 1. She has no energy for day-to-day tasks. She feels sad, hopeless, and empty. She feels disconnected from her baby. She is afraid she can't care for her baby. She has a hard time bathing and caring for herself. She needs to drink coffee every day. Very common for women in the postpartum term. She doesn't know what to feed herself and can go long periods of time without eating or drinking. Not good at all. She doesn't care about what she eats, overeats, and eats mostly processed and frozen foods. She has extreme brain fog and sleeps a lot. She cries a lot, has trouble focusing or making decisions, has thoughts of hurting herself, has thoughts of hurting her baby, losing interest or pleasure in activities she used to enjoy, withdrawing from friends and family, having headaches, aches and pains, or stomach problems that don't go away, feeling restless or moody. So these are critical signs of postpartum depression. And the most critical signs that I want to just underscore here are having thoughts of hurting herself, having thoughts of hurting her baby. We are now moving into psychosis. And this, to me, based on what, Hannah's story, is indicative of the severe depletion, nutritional depletion. She's basically running on fumes, the mom at this point. All right. We know that there is a gut-brain connection. We know that here in this community. And Kahina was just talking about it. The gut, if the gut isn't healthy, if the gut isn't receiving the nutrition that it needs, the brain is going to suffer. All right. It's the second brain. So we here in our community are all about gut health, and we know that leads to brain health. And I've even witnessed that with you, Kahina, how much your mental health has shifted in the time that I've known you, in terms of how you're looking at life. Will you just talk about that a little bit? Because it's been profound for me as your friend and colleague to witness that. Will you speak about that?
Yeah, definitely. I relate so much to most of that list that you shared of what I had experienced. And the coffee, I was so dependent on coffee. And I feel like that is really normalized, and it's absolutely sabotage for us to do that in the postpartum phase. And I was running on fumes to the point where, because I didn't get to sleep a lot, my body in that depression wanted to sleep, but I'm a single mom, so I didn't have that option at all. So that's why I was like chugging copious amounts of coffee, and nothing else was working, until I started the superfoods, getting that in my body, which shifted everything. I felt like I could take much deeper breaths. And in my ability to take deeper breaths, my children are taking deeper breaths, and everything. It's almost as if we have, not almost, I really do believe that we have the capacity to expand space and time with our breath. And this just kind of moved through me with the nourishment that I was receiving, with the support that I was receiving. My breaths became so much easier, and that shifted my whole reality. So, can I
Beautiful.
share a story with you about just something that happened the other day that I found just really like a beautiful example of that?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Junebug got scratched by the kitty cat. It was like something happened, scared the cat at the same time that I had to poop. It was like all at the same time. And then Lyra needed help doing something. It was a very like heightened situation, you know, it was like so much needed to be tended to all at the same time. And previously that would have like racked my nervous system. And, you know, I would have probably been like in woe is me, like, what the heck is this? This is a nightmare, you know? That's how those kinds of situations would feel. But I was like able to slow down time with my breath, to tell my digestion we're going to handle it in just a minute, and got her the lavender oil that you gifted me for my birthday. And it was just like, I mean, she specifically asked for that. And I just felt so like full circle. Like, this is motherhood doesn't need to be like so fast, so stressful. And that's the realm that I was living in with the gut dysbiosis,
Yeah.
you know, and feeling alone. I felt so alone.
Yeah.
I felt so abandoned and unseen. And I feel so supported and so seen. And my girls do too. And they've witnessed the whole transformation and come along for the ride with me. So such a blessing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So we're going to drop in just briefly here a little bit more about psychosis, and then we're going to move on. So it's defined here. This is actually from an Australian website. If you want to go, you can go to healthdirect.gov.au and learn more about what they're sharing here in Australia. But I mean, it's the Western world. So, but they define postpartum psychosis as a mental illness. So, you know, mental illness is very, well, I think we're still learning about what mental illness is, to be honest with you. And it says here that can affect you in the first few weeks after giving birth. Your symptoms can appear suddenly when you lose your sense of reality, like Hannah was sharing about, including hallucinations, delusions, mood swings, and behavior changes. So this is really, I just want to underscore that. Your sense of reality, hallucinations, delusions. This is where we're really moving into, you know, the extreme psychotic experience for a new mom. Just absolutely so terrifying, really. I can't imagine. Motherhood is already hard enough without all this on top of it, right? Postpartum psychosis is different from the more common condition called postnatal depression, which we were just talking about. You need to be diagnosed by a psychiatrist, and usually you'll need treatment in hospital with medicines. So here's the thing. Hannah shared her experience with her mother-in-law, who was a nurse, an allopathic nurse, who was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. 3 years, she didn't share that in her story, but I know that Hannah experienced what she was sharing about in her story for 3 years. This woman went undiagnosed and unhelped. So, needlessly, you know, like this need never happen. Why need it never happen? Because we must begin to place an emphasis on the extreme need for women to be tuning into their nutrition. This is the key. So after getting appropriate treatment, you're likely to make a full recovery. Well, so they say here, what's the treatment? Antidepressants, no, thank you. I mean, maybe that'll help in a very small amount of time, but that's not going to help long term. Mood stabilizers, I'm the alternative chick. Many of you know. So I'm not really into any of that. Antipsychotic medicines, again, if for a very short period of time, potentially, and then electroconvulsive therapy. Oh, dear God. A process that stimulates brain neurons with an electric current to treat mania, psychosis, and severe depression. So, this is allopathy's answers. All right. Well, ours is really simple and it's found in your pantry, your kitchen, and your refrigerator. It's food. All right. So I want to bring Kahina back on now because she's got some insights into all of this. So come on back, Mama, and go for it.
Cool. So yeah, the gut-brain connection is absolutely something to be considered when we're wanting to feel better all around, physically, mentally, spiritually. I feel like it really is the basis of how we function. That's how I've experienced it. And I've studied nutrition. I have lived, a pretty healthy lifestyle for a long time. Tried so many different probiotics, but nothing ever worked for me like the one that we have, the one that we're working with that actually pulls glyphosate out of the body. So this was like a total game changer for me. And I was almost at my wit's end because I had spent a small fortune on different supplements and everything to no avail. So also, I just want to mention that, our digestion, if we're backed up, everything sits very closely together with the womb. So if our digestion is off and we're backed up and we've got leaky gut, this is also going to affect our womb space and our cycles and our channel. Like this is where I get a lot of intuition from. And I had it really bad periods, really painful periods, even when I was younger. And another thing that I just pretty much normalized and everybody did, pop a Midol and, shove in a tampon and go. And it was miserable. And I don't feel like it actually needs to be at all. My last cycle was so powerful. It was like intense, but felt like really, really cleansing. And I just feel so connected with my womb now. So I feel like that is definitely something that just a really important piece. Our gut health and our womb health are so directly related, and our intuition as well, our channel for knowing. We need that inner knowingness in motherhood to be able to tune into what that child needs from us. There are so many moments in motherhood where intuition is key, where it's opportunity after opportunity to resolve generational traumas and our own, and our children's. So I could probably go on unpacking that, but I will. I'll be talking about that a lot more.
Okay, great. So I want to invite someone on who has just gone through her own 90-day experience. She's a special guest. Her name is Margaret Chase. She's a former RN, oncology RN, and she's since left the world of the hospital, and she has become a traditional home birth midwife. And she's just wrapping up it's like tomorrow or the next day, day 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about how this nutrition has helped you? And also we're going to segue into the business here and why you became a brand partner. Will you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So my stage in life, which causes a lot of hormone changes, is menopause. So I get the whole hormone imbalance, and I was bad. And it was not just hot flashes, it was my mood, and I was so freaking depressed, and um, I was definitely had hormone imbalance. I had bloatiness, I had constipation, and this is a lot of times what postpartum moms can deal with is the constipation and the moods up and down. And so I was just like, I met Stephanie through a midwife summit, and she started talking about nutrition. And I'm like, I've always known that I've been a nurse for 21 years, and I kept coming back to we need to change nutrition. We need that is so freaking major, and yet the medical system and medical, whatever you want to call it, does not concentrate on that whatsoever. It doesn't even one iota. They just say, "Oh yeah, you should probably not eat." Most of the time, they tell you not to eat something, and there it's just it. I just remember being especially as an oncology nurse and just singing. I said, "Oh, these people would feel so much better if we got some nutrition into them." And so that really, but then when I became a birth doula at the time, and I was a birth doula for hospitals, and I was just like, every time it got more worse and worse, and I'm just like, what is going on here? Our medical system is missing the mark. And so that's when I really made a change for myself, and I said, okay, enough of this medical system that is not really serving mamas and in so many ways. And so I did that, but also still for myself was going through these hot flashes, going through all this. And I met Stephanie and she talked about nutrition. I go, and I had made a prayer at the beginning of the year and says, I really want to work on my health. I want to be healed of hot flashes by the end of the year, if not before. And so it was like all these things came together, and so I started my 90-day transformation. And today I'm like, my hot flashes are not completely gone, but they're so much better. I'm not like waking up 2 times, 3 times a night, being drenched, having to take off clothes or put clothes on, change sheets, all that stuff. And the other thing is my mood is like, there's such a difference in my mood, and I can't even really put it on an answer to it. And I've also gone through a really hard time with grief of my sister's a loss of my sister. And um this nutrition, it's really hard to explain because there's no like, my science mind has a hard time with it in the aspect, but at the same time, there's an energy difference, and my thoughts are clearer, and there's no constipation, there's no bloating, and those things have all changed in this time period. And I'm so excited because I'm not stopping at this 90 days. I'm going to continue on these products, and I'm excited to see what other changes are coming about. So, because of all these changes, and I'm a birth worker and I'm a traditional independent midwife, is that I'm like, this is so freaking important for our mamas, not just it's for pre-pregnancy, pregnancy, and postpartum, and really seeing the difference for postpartum. And I'm like, I got to bring this into my work because nutrition is so much important during this time. And yet the medical system is failing us. And we are not, and it doesn't talk about nutrition. It just talks about, oh, you have diabetes or you have gestational diabetes. And they give you insulin. They don't give you help with they do to its extent, but then you go to a dietitian and they're not really knowledgeable about what the effects of having great quality superfoods, that it's organic, and what that makes such a difference. And so that's how I said, okay, I gotta get on this bandwagon of being a brand partner. Was really kind of like, I don't know about this and everything, but it's really helped my business is in the birth world too of um and there's so much support. I think that's one of the things that I really appreciate about this whole community is the support and meeting these like-minded people, and that makes a difference. And I've already reached out to Stephanie and Kahina, and like I was going through a really hard time there for a little bit, and I was just like, something's gonna change. And I think, food is what we eat does matter. It does make a huge difference. And I've experienced it myself. I've seen people's stories. And that's one thing that's so encouraging too, is being part of this team, is that you hear these stories that are just like, wow, this is important. And we need to speak our voice, and we speak our words, and be courageous and say, hey, we do have something that will make a difference for mamas, pregnant women, and for whoever wants to start, for any woman that wants to start a family, right? So those are
Right.
my 2 cents.
Hey, thank you so much, Margaret, for coming on the fly like that. I really appreciate it. So you might be wondering, what are we talking about? What is this protocol? So this protocol is, it's either a 30, 60, or 90-day protocol. We recommend 90 days. It takes a while for things to change, as you just heard from Margaret. It definitely did for me, and I know it did for Kahina too. So we recommend the 90 days, and it's 90 days of nutrition. It's 90 days of, I'll just, really quickly go through what the products are for each 30-day installment. You're going to get our star product, the Biomedic, which effectively removes glyphosate from the body. If you don't know about glyphosate, please research it. We want to get the glyphosate out of your body. It's drenched all over our conventional food, and it's even being found in organic food. So that's what we start with, the Biomedic. Then we move to the Super Aminos 23, which is vegan protein, floods the body with energy in 23 minutes, helps to build muscle and burn fat. All right, that's our protein made from garbanzo beans. The third product is, there's multiple shake options, but these aren't just like any kind of shake. These are the bomb.com shakes. They are a green shake, which is veggies and superfoods, or you can get our super meal, which is actually a meal replacement. The green shake is not, it's called Power Shake. Or you can get the super meal, which is a meal replacement, it has over 40 adaptogenic herbs and mushrooms. Or you can get our dark berry, which is brand new. It's got all the dark berries in it. It's packed with vitamin C, all kinds of amazing ingredients for brain health, including lion's mane. And they're just like, they far exceed, what you would expect in a shake, with no additives or fillers or anything artificial in any way, shape, or form. We at Purium, the name of the company is Purium, in case we hadn't mentioned that already. We at Purium are beyond organic. We're beyond pure. All right. I couldn't have been here all these years because I'm an organic freak. I'm a health freak. If this company was not excellent. So then the fourth product is the tart cherry syrup. It's called Apothecary, anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, anti-stress, helps to eliminate free radicals while you sleep, and it is delicious and packed with vitamin C. So me and my whole cancer journey, I've been taking a lot of tart cherry over the years. And then the final product throughout the 90-day experience is Super Cleansar, which is parasite killing herbs. So parasites are a thing, people. They're a thing that we don't want in our body, that we all have in our bodies, all of us. You only need to eat meat, fish or vegetables to have parasites in your body. So we want to be cleansing parasites out of our body at least quarterly. At least quarterly. They are responsible or can be responsible for so many horrendous symptoms that we endure here in the United States. Needlessly enduring parasites. Let's get those things out of our body. So what do you get to eat in this protocol? A lot. The freedom, I think this is why I was able to succeed with it. And, Margaret, you can nod your head. The freedom of what to eat in this protocol is so vast. I think that's why it makes it so doable, is because you can eat, organic chicken, you can eat organic eggs, you can eat free-range wild-caught salmon, you can eat quinoa, you can eat tons of different veggies, tons of different fruits, all kinds of ancient grains, amaranth. And you might be trying some things that you've never had before, and hey, that's a good thing, right? And the name of the game is to be nourishing yourself regularly so that you never feel hungry, ever, right? And it's about the choices that we're making. And so it's not just about buying the products, it is about coming into the fold with our community and feeling the love and the support about how to create transformation in your health. And yes, if you are interested in joining us as a brand partner, as Margaret was just sharing about, we want you with us. We want you with us. And I want to invite Kahina back on because she made the choice pretty early on as well to become a brand partner. Will you speak to that, Kahina? Why did you become a brand partner?
Well, I couldn't not share it. I mean, to put it simply, like I was suffering and then I wasn't suffering. So, being a holistic doula and loving supporting women and families in birth, this was just a no-brainer. Like I had to share this with as many people as possible, and also as many beautiful caretakers, birth workers, lactation consultants, all of the caregivers. It just makes sense, there's so many people out there suffering and depleted for no reason. So that's why.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, so we're on a mission to transform lives with these nutritional protocols and with this wealth opportunity, really. I mean, it's smart to have multiple streams of income in today's, current financial climate, and to be doing it in such a way that is showing up in service, right? Showing up to help. That's what we do every single day. And it's our honor, really, to show up in service in this way and to help women and moms and families to feel better and to get the glyphosate out of our bodies and to get the parasites out of our bodies and to have the energy that we need to care for our children, right? To be able to keep up with them and get good rest and just be able to do all the things that it takes to raise a family and to function as a meaningful participant in a community, right? Or with whatever work you're doing in addition to raising your family. You can do this part-time. You can do this full-time. It's up to you. So if you decide that you want to do a 30, 60, or 90-day ultimate lifestyle transformation, that will allow you to get the business for free. So I want to talk about, what does that mean? What does it mean to get the business for free? So when you become a Purium brand partner, you get a special code. It's an affiliate code. You see this a lot now. You can share that affiliate code with anyone that you meet, and you can receive 20% commissions off of what they purchase. And any time that they go back to your website to purchase, you're going to receive 20% commission. So this is the beauty of residual income. I now have a very large team of, I think we're around about 4,000 people in my team, in my organization, who are purchasing superfoods or who have purchased superfoods or who are sharing superfoods. So this is a beautiful leveraged income model. And I just want to share a really quick story. I had to step out of my business for the last several weeks because of a debilitating back injury. And that was really hard for me to do for so many reasons. Because I have a large team, and Kahina is one of the leaders on my team. And I was able to do that because everyone's working and they're helping others to work. And, how can you like step out of working and still get paid in any other income model? So this is the beauty of this income model. So you're going to be getting that affiliate code. You're going to be getting unlimited codes to be able to share. You'll get the app on your phone, which allows you to share information about what we have here on your phone via text or Instagram Messenger, Facebook Messenger, etc. And then you'll get the back office, which helps you check out and see what's going on with your organization. So what you'll also be getting is you'll be joining a robust team of health warriors, AKA us. And you'll be joining our mission. You'll be joining the Million Mom Movement. You'll be joining many health practitioners, providers, stay-at-home moms, etc. It's not all women, it's mostly women. We do have some men who are helping people change their lives. And it's not just postpartum depletion, depression, and psychosis. It's things like Lyme disease, like Hashimoto's, severe adrenal fatigue. How about multiple sclerosis? Oh, how about cancer? So nutrition is the bedrock of wellness. And that's what we have here with Purium. We would love for you to join us. So I want to thank you all so much for being here with us today. If your interest is piqued and you want to know more about the nutrition, reach out to the person that invited you here. They have a code for you to get 25% off of your 30, 60, or 90-day nutritional pack. Or reach out to one of us and we can talk more with you about the business. All right. We would love to have you join us. Thank you so much to my special co-host, Kahina, and my special guest, Margaret Chase, for joining us. We're so grateful that you were able to be here with us this evening. And we just send you so much love and blessings for your radiant health. All right. We're here for you. Good night, everyone.